Hi guys, so welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to talk about the way of living in Los Angeles versus New York City. These are the most populated cities in the entire country, and a lot of the time people would want to move into these places depending on what they're looking for and what kind of jobs they're interested in. But since I have been living in both of these places, I thought I could tell you guys some of the things that I have experienced between these two places and what are the differences in my opinion. So the first thing I want to talk about is the people. So this definitely makes like a big impact, I think, when you move to places, I think, because that's very important for us. Doesn't matter, you might have a good job or anything, but dealing with people, that is very important, and that affects you a lot. So in LA, I would say people are super nice generally. They will talk to you all the time. Like they will say, how's your day? They will smile, even like when you go to parking and like when you go to the supermarket, any place, people are like extra nice. So, and even on the street, sometimes they would ask you, how was your day? And like it's pretty chill. But one thing I would say is, like, just because they are nice doesn't mean that they are like being generally nice. They are not. Some of them, I mean, maybe some of them are, but most of them are flaky nice. Like they're just being like nice to you to get something from you. So that is kind of a thing that I have heard, and also I have experienced a little bit. Not entirely like oh my god, someone used me for that, but I'm just saying that I can sense that even through going DMs as I got in here and trying to meet people. I have experienced that like a couple times now. So I would say that like people are super nice, but they are very flaky. So not all of them, but like there's just like a big percentage of them in Los Angeles that does that. So comparing to New York though, New York is because East Coast people are most of the time very honest, and they would say things straight to your face, and that's one of the reasons I feel like people think that New Yorkers are rude, but they're actually not. I think it's just because we are used to saying things just the way it is, so, and people take that in their own way. Most New Yorkers are actually nice. Only time they get super rude is because like I think sometimes people don't take the manners, don't understand the certain things that like you would not do in New York City. Like in New York City, you would not really talk to a stranger. You would not tap in stranger's shoulder. You would not like tap in stranger's shoulder who is listening to music and have headphones on, because that clearly sends a message that he does not or she does not want to be disturbed. But when you do that in New York, that is very rude, and you should not do that to anyone. So if someone responds to you very rude after you did that, that is just, don't think that they're rude. It's just because like you're interrupting their flow. You should not be doing that. I'm just saying that there are so many things that in New York City is like people taking it the wrong way, but people are actually super nice. They are honest with the way they say things, but that's why it comes off very rude, because they're not like just like fake nice. They're just like, oh okay, like they would just say it to your face. So the second thing I want to talk about is definitely the living. So I would say, comparing the entire country, these both places are super expensive. So New York is expensive, LA is very expensive, so there's just, I wouldn't say there's like big difference. In New York though, one thing I would say is that the rent cost is super pricey. So like you get maybe, in order to afford a studio, you probably have to pay, like especially in Manhattan or Midtown area, you might probably be paying like $2,300 or $2,500 for a studio, and that is probably a small place, like super small. It's not even one bedroom, so that is, it's just very tiny. So it's essentially like you're getting a shoebox. But in LA, yes, it's still the similar prices, but at least for $2,300, $2,500, you might have to get this maybe. Even like it's a one bedroom and you will have like a big space. It's more spacious. You might get even amenities. Some of them even have a pool. So there's like a lot that you would get for that money in LA comparing to New York, that like you would get like a very tiny space. So it just really depends on what you value, the space or the environment. Okay, so the third thing I want to talk about is actually comes down to transportation, because, and that is something I think is huge, like biggest difference between these two places, because in LA, I would say there is public transportation. Like, I see buses a lot, I see metro, but I would say it's not as comprehensive, it's not as like spread out like it doesn't go a lot of places like New York City, because I think it only goes in like one direction. I think that's what my friend said, and I also looked at the map, it's not really big. So I mean, it's not pricey or anything, I would say, but like I don't think people would use it. Also, like if you live in like those metro station areas, that's the only way I feel like that would be convenient for you. But other than that, I don't think it is like people use it at all. Even my neighbor right next door, she does not have a car. Oh my god, what's happening? I promise you guys, like, I'm not dying. Even my neighbor next door, she does not have a car, and she works in Culver City. So, and she told me that she only goes, like, she only uses Uber, and she like uses Bird time to time. So like one of those electric scooters, that is something also big, I would say. Like people use that a lot. But another thing I would say is like the ones that I have seen so far, this is my opinion, I'm not sure, just saying, tourists are using those a lot. Not exactly, I think, for transportation purposes per se. I think it's more like, oh my god, it's cool. Like, because I think, yes, using those, you get to see more places around, and it's kind of like nice to look at. But I wouldn't say like, oh, I would use that to go to work, unless my work is that close by. But if you're going through like highway and stuff, this is not like New York City that you're going through like one block to another, you know, or like you're going from like 34th Street to 42nd. It's not like you're literally going through highways and bridges, so there's no way you would go through that with Bird, and I'm pretty sure battery will run out at one point. So you most likely might need to use Uber if you don't have a car, and it is not bad, but it does add up. So I have to say that it's not like crazy cheap. Like it is cheaper comparing to New York City, but it is still pricey. Like it does get expensive over time. So in here you definitely need to have a car. That's just very convenient. I would say that like even in here I have a car rented, and that just saves me a lot of time. And especially because like in here, one thing I would say like that saves a lot of time and also money is like, I mean, yes, you pay in upfront, but like it is really helpful having a hybrid or electric car, because I know it gets more expensive sometimes, but like I think like in terms of the car price, not like the gas or anything, but you save a lot of money when it comes to gas and stuff, because especially even hybrid cars, like the one I had been using that for like over a week now. And last time I think I had to fill the tank because I did not have the opportunity to charge my car. But like generally, if I had the chance, like because also I live in a building, I don't really have access to outlet that I can charge my car overnight. So I kind of charge in the places that wherever I go, like some of the places like in here, that is so cool, like in Target, or you go to some malls, or even the garages of the malls, there's actually special EV charging stations for your car, and some of them are even actually free. You just only pay for parking, which is so cool because parking is actually super cheap sometimes. It's like maybe $3, and first 90 minutes is like free, so that's like amazing, especially in Santa Monica, which is like only 10 minutes away from me. That is just so convenient. I love that. But in New York City, you definitely do not want to drive. Unless you live in like Jersey or like Queens or maybe Brooklyn. That is something that like maybe would work for you, because like there's a lot of parking there, and also there's a lot of possibilities of like, if you even have an electric car, you can totally charge there. I have seen it a lot, especially in Whole Foods in Brooklyn. But in terms of coming to the city, especially if you live in Manhattan, it is very difficult. And most people actually use public transportation. It is pretty good, but I would say, as a fellow, I mean, New Yorker that I have been living there for a long time, it has gotten worse over the years. So they have, because that public transportation has been around for so long, and MTA hasn't really been fixing anything, so it has gone through a long process of like, they have been adjusting, they have been trying to renovate it, they have been trying to fix things, because it's been very old. So I remember they recently shut down one of the lines, like F train, and they were like fixing things. Then now they have the Second Avenue line. That one's actually pretty good. It's like the new one. But they even like now shutting down the L train because they want to, you know, upgrade the whole line. The one that connects the Williamsburg, which is Brooklyn, to Manhattan. So that's like very big for a lot of people who commute from Brooklyn. So I'm just saying, like, yes, it might be ideal public transportation option, but I also have to say, like, it does get very, what can I say, like, in terms of like commuting to places, you really have to plan on it. It's not like, I mean, yes, like LA does have traffic in here, so you might be late to places anyways, but in your city you might be as well, and in your city they don't really accept it well. Like in here, when you're late, people don't really make a big deal in LA, but in New York City, if you're late, it's kind of like, wow, you like lost the opportunity, and people will be like so mad at you. So it's pretty big deal. And like, especially in the summer, I have to say that, because public transportation, the one that it's just so old, I don't want to complain about it, but I just want to be 100% honest with you guys, because I feel like a lot of people are saying that, like, oh my gosh, yes, like public transportation is great in New York City. Yes, it is working, I would say, but like it's about to like be like bad, because like it's so old and they're not fixing it, yet MTA has like so much money. So even in the summer, like when you wait for the, you know, the car to come in, and sometimes it takes a while, or there's a delay, there's something happens, someone jumped in for the train, someone hold the doors, which happens a lot, like holding the doors for like maybe 10 minutes or 15 minutes, and you're just like delayed to go to your place, and like it's very crazy. And when you wait for your station, at the station, there is no AC or anything, so you're literally dripping like sweat in the summer, especially because like weather is humid. It is just so crazy. So I have to say that, especially when you're commuting to work and you're wearing something nice, it is hard. Like you will see people dripping sweat. It's just so crazy. That is something that I don't think I will ever miss about New York City. That's just so crazy. That's one reason I thought, and I've also seen a lot that people use Uber in New York City more than the public transportation. Like I know they used to use public transportation a lot, but like now more of my friends, influencer friends, other friends, they have been using more Uber Pool. I mean, yes, it's like sometimes gets pricey, but like at least you are not ruined or you're not dripping sweat. So it is something to consider. I know I went around it too much, but I want to just tell you guys, like, yes, public transportation is great, like you use it, but it's not exactly, oh my god, like it's the best thing ever. You're gonna be commuting everywhere. It does have a lot of delays, and sometimes it gets you in a place even longer. It takes longer than like a regular car, like that you would use Uber. So okay, this is my favorite part. I think it's just something that like whenever I first got here, or like the second time I visited, third time, first time, I honestly don't remember, but like that is something I love about LA, that is food. Because a lot of people in here, they're very conscious about food, so, or they're vegans, vegetarians, there's so many dietary restrictions people have here, and that's one reason I think a lot of restaurants, coffee shops, even the corner places, well, there's not exactly a corner store, but like the closest place next to you, like where you live, there are a lot of good food choices, like really good food choices. That is something amazes me all the time, because I think in New York City there's a lot of unhealthy food. I mean, you can find healthy foods, but like it's very hard to find, and it's generally super expensive. But in LA it's pretty decent, and you get pretty good portions and sizes. Even like a lot of places, like you get sometimes bagel, and the bagel is like sometimes gluten free, or like it's just very healthy. And like it also comes with avocado. It's like even they have like air fried like stuff. Like it's just very healthy stuff that amazed me a lot. Even the time, like I remember I ordered like Postmates, and I got like guac and chips wasn't like regular chips. It was like potato, like it was sweet potato chips. I'm just saying, like, they have like very good food choices in LA, and that's why I think like people are healthier here and like they're better looking, sort of. Like, I'm not trying to say it, but like they definitely work more on their body in here comparing to the ones in New York City, especially because like it gets cold very fast, so that is something to consider. So this was it. I hope I didn't talk too much. I really wanted to just tell you guys everything, but there's so much to cover. Just let me know if you guys would interested in like me doing more of these videos. I will make sure to do that because I just experienced a lot, but I didn't want to just put all in one video. That could have been a like really long video. So anyways, I have these tips and these experiences that I have talked about so far. You guys find it helpful? If you do, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys next time.